Good afternoon, Ocean City High School. This is Mrs. Oves, and I will be walking you through how to do a college search utilizing Naviance. Um, let's see here. So we're going to log into Naviance. So it's just naviance.com. And then you're going to select sign in, students and families. And then they'll ask you for our zip code, which is 08226. So we'll type that in. It's going to say intermediate. Obviously, we're high school. I'm logging into my Red Raider account. If you, for some reason, do not know what your username and password is, please reach out to your counselor as soon as possible because you'll be utilizing this program for so much. And many of you haven't looked at this since freshman year. So, okay, so here is my Naviance homepage. And there's a lot of great information on here. For the juniors, this is going to be something that we're going to be updating as soon as we get confirmation of the updated testing schedule, as well as, for sophomores, because many of you that are in advanced math this year may be ready for the fall SAT and or ACT testing. So look back for that. Periodically, but we're focusing mainly on the college's component. So I'm going to be clicking on the college's homepage, and you're going to see Finding Your Fit. And there's a lot of great resources in here, and you really can't mess up this program. So take your time, utilize it as much as you need to in the different areas. But for today's purposes, I'm doing the advanced college search. I'm going to be focusing on a four-year school. I am thinking co-ed, and I'm not focusing on public versus private just yet, but I definitely don't want to be in a large city. That's just not for me. But I do want to have some activity, so I'm going to go with these three. And rural is like your farm country. Bucknell University is kind of out there. I would consider that rural. I would consider Rowan a large town. I consider my alma mater, Bloomsburg University, to be a small town, but also sort of rural. So, think about your campus surroundings. And again, you can do these searches so many different times. If you decide later down the line that you do definitely want a city after having visited one next year, you could certainly do that. So moving on to location, most of our students focus on the Mid-Atlantic region. They like to be within a driving distance. Some students start their process and say, I want to get as far away from New Jersey as possible. Our recommendation is to have at least one or two New Jersey schools on your list just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to select for today that region. Now, as far as school size, I want to be a little bit bigger than Ocean City. So we have 13 to 1,400 students, just to give you perspective. But I'm not super picky. I know that I don't want to be at a really big school. So I'm going to go anywhere between 2 and 10,000 for now. Okay, moving on. And then the admissions rate, basically the most competitive institutions in the country are going to be less than 25%. So they're only accepting 25% of the students who have applied. 25 to 50% is a pretty highly selective school. Then you get into your moderately selective schools here, 50 to 75%. So I'm going to go with that one for now, and you can play with that as well. Also, we have some options here for athletics. If you're looking into sports, you can choose your division and your different sport. But for now, I'm going to skip over that. For my major, I'm going to type in psychology. And my next tutorial, we're going to be really focusing on career searching. And sorry, you can highlight multiple majors here. So I'm just trying to highlight multiple and it's not working out for me. So I'm just going to select a bunch of different majors in my discipline. Counseling psychology, educational psychology. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to move on to next. Oh, we have 0 matches. And that's likely because of my major. So when I click on view matches, and that sometimes does happen. I'm actually kind of glad that that happened. I'm going to go here and I'm going to make sure it's at least one of my majors. Maybe add clinical. Maybe I just want, regular psychology general. I'm going to add that. It'll probably open up a lot of different majors that way. Let me make sure it added. Yes, so it did. So now I'm going to view my matches. And now I have 34 matches, which is good for your first initial search. So then if you really want to get it down, and most students are going to apply anywhere to 6 to 8 colleges, we don't expect you to know that now, what your 6 to 8 schools are going to be. This is sort of where the hard part comes in and the research part comes in. So you can look at each individual school. And for today's purposes, I'm going to be focusing on Rider University. So when you click on the individual school, it'll show you a lot of really great information, such as, it'll have a video, it might have some student interviews on the homepage. It's going to show you the acceptance rate. So here is a pretty high acceptance rate. So they accept 67% of the students who apply. So many more students are accepted than are denied. This is a little concerning here, the 4-year graduation rate, especially as a parent. I want to make sure that my child gets in and out in 4 years. You can click on this 6-year as well. That might be something that you want to look into if you have a concern about that. College overlaps, this is a great resource. See other colleges that students apply to that also apply to this school. So as you're trying to get some ideas, you can see Monmouth, William Patterson, Delaware, Montclair, and Rowan and Stockton. So that's a really great resource as well. Also, the average net price, this has a tendency to be inaccurate. So every college and university is required to have a net price calculator on their website. So you can go directly on Rider's website and search net price calculator, put your financial information in there, and then it'll tell you how much it should cost you. And say you're really interested in, how big are my class size is going to be. This is a great number because Ocean City High School averages around 24 students in a class. So you're going to expect a similar class size. You're not going to have the large lecture halls and things like that. Student retention rate. This is a critical number. This is the percentage of students who return from freshman year to sophomore year. If it's under 80%, there are some colleges and universities that are in the 60%. That's just something that you'd want to look into and ask the admissions office about and figure out why that's low. This is a parent I'm interested in as well. Obviously, we'd like this number to be a little bit higher, but a student who's a go-getter and gets into the career office and seeks out internships and co-ops, you're going to be in that 64%. So don't worry about that a whole lot. But this retention rate is important. We need to know that the students are happy. Student life. This gives you an idea of how big the school is, what's the nearest city, how far it is from home, and how many students are living on campus. And if you're looking at a college or university, it's considerable distance, you want to know that there's an active student campus and that more students are living on campus than aren't. So that's just a great data tool. This is missions tab. You're going to see here, this is where students spend most of their time. This gives you a lot of great information in terms of the last few years, how many students from Ocean City applied and were accepted and how many were denied. I apologize, my screen is freezing. Okay, so when you log on here, you're going to be, you'll see a blue person. It'll be like a circle and it'll plot you on the graph. And for most of you all, it's going to be based on your PSATs. Just know that that's not an accurate, but at least it could give you a good guideline. But this data is really important. So you can see here we have the average GPA accepted, and you have a lot of students that are under the average GPA accepted that were accepted, and a lot of students that were above the average GPA. And down here you can see the SAT range. This is, so you can see their average is 1100, but you also have students that are here, and there could be a lot of different factors, but you always want to try to get in that, middle percentile. And this data is the most statistically reliable that you're going to get because it's entered in by the school counselors, and it's based on our GPA scale. If you're taking ACTs, you can click on that, and you'll see down at the bottom, as many of you know, the ACTs out of 36, so it looks like their average ACTs at 21, but students under that have been accepted as well. Um, okay, so that takes care of the admissions tab. And I'm just going to take you up here. This pink thing is basically, you know, yes, you can add them to the colleges I'm thinking about here by just clicking on the heart. And you can also click on this. And when you click on this, it'll ask you for some information. And all that does to you is it puts you on their mailing list so that you get contacted about different open house events, different admissions events, and things of that nature. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and here's my list. And just so you know, you can save this list. So you can hit save search, and I'm going to put second search, and I'll save that. And when I log in to my college's homepage, next time I come into this account, I can hit advanced college search, and I can select second search, and all of my schools and my criteria have come up. And like I said before, you can't break this. So, you know, feel free to manipulate this criteria here. As you know, if you have too many schools, then maybe you play with this number, maybe this number, and really just start narrowing it down from there. So that's all I have for you today in terms of how to do a college search. In my next segment, I'm going to show you how you can do a lot of career and college major exploration utilizing this program. If you have any questions, feel free to email your school counselor or myself, and we'll be happy to help you. And good luck with everything, and have a wonderful rest of your day.